What is up, guys? In this video I'm going to be showing you how you can create your very own personal chatbot in Discord. It will process all of the information that it receives and you'll be able to return a response to certain users or to everyone depending on how you want to set it up. But let's just go over all of the basics, and we will be doing this in Python. But the first thing I want to do is go over an example of what we will be making. So let's pretend we have a chat and we write hello. You'll notice that our chatbot Maria is going to respond to our messages. And if we create a command such as random, she's going to generate a random number for us. We can also say bye or use another command such as anywhere. And so far these messages will only be responded to in this channel. But if we go to a different channel such as welcome and we write /anywhere, she will also respond there. But instead, if we try to write hello, she will not respond to the message here because we have specified it to only work in our Discord bot channel. And I'm going to show you how to set that up later so you can make it respond to messages in certain channels as well. But let's go ahead and get started by going to Firefox, because the first thing we have to do is go to the Discord developer portal and just type that in on Google so that you'll get this as a search result, and we'll just click on Discord developer portal. And that's going to take you to the documentation, but we will just click on application because the first thing we should do is go ahead and create a new application. And for this, we will just name it whatever you want to name it. I will name it sample_bot. And click on create. And the first page you will land on is a general information page. So this is just to define essentially what the bot does, and it's just something that allows you to give it a small description so you can understand what it is later in case you have lots of bots. These are not really good names because first bot and sample bot can be really confusing if you have a lot of bots. So of course give it something a little bit more descriptive. But for this situation we're just going to skip this section because it is not necessary, and we are going to go to the bot. And as you can see right here, there's a section that's called build a bot, and all you have to do is click on add bot and it'll say yes, do it. Then we will have our first bot. And the first thing I want to do is give it an image that I have in downloads. It's going to have this face over here, and we're going to give it a name, which is going to be Jojo. And let's click on save changes. The next thing we want to do is go ahead and copy this token. So just click on copy and go to your Python project. This is a completely new Python project. And the first thing we should write up here is token in capital letters. And we are just going to insert it inside here. Your token is going to be different than this one, of course, so make sure you use your own token because this will not work if you try to copy it. And let's go back to the documentation. And there's a few more things we should do. So right here we have a few settings, such as public bot can be added by anyone. And since we do not want anyone else to use this bot, we only want us to be able to add it to servers, we are going to disable this option. And then we can go ahead and click on save changes. And the next thing to do is to go to this authentication too, because we need to create a link that we can use to invite it to our server. So right now we should go down and click on bot. And then here we want to give it some permissions. So this will allow you to decide what you want this bot to do. And all we want it to do is essentially be able to interact with text permissions. So we'll just select all of those, but you can select whatever you want that your bot should be able to interact with. For safety, I would not give it the administrator role immediately because that could be dangerous, but it's up to you. Then we'll click on copy, and we can go ahead and just paste that in a new tab. And you will see that it will ask us if we want to add our sample bot to the server. So we'll add it to my server, which is CodePalace, and we'll click on continue. Then it's going to tell you, do you want to give it all of these permissions? And of course you can select the ones you want and the ones you don't. And then we'll click on authorize. Then I should also specify that I'm a human, and it will tell you, congratulations, your bot is now part of the server. Now, if you go back to your Discord server, you'll notice that the bot that we just created will be listed under the offline people because we have not yet started the server and we cannot yet see the bot because of this. So Jojo is here and Jojo's alive. So as I said earlier, it's very important that in general information, you give it some descriptive names and some descriptive text, possibly an image that will make it easy for other people to recognize it. Otherwise, it will look as it did when we tried to invite it. But with that being done, we are actually finished with this section over here. Now we can actually go and work with the code in Python. So the first thing we have to do inside here is type in pip install Discord. And once we have successfully installed that, we can close our terminal and we can go and add a few imports. So the first one we have to import is the Discord package. So import Discord. Then we want to import random. The next thing we have to do is go ahead and create a client, which is going to be our discord.client. Then the first thing we can do inside here is create a client event. So client.event, and we're going to have to define this as an async function. So async def, and that's going to call onReady, which means that once we start the bot, it will call this function. And the default message you'll see is going to be a print statement that says we have logged in as, and then we have to add this template, which is a 0.user, and we are just going to use the format that is provided by the client of this message. And we can already go ahead and run this. So let's go ahead and type in client.run. And the only argument you have to supply here is the token that we have retrieved from the Discord documentation. But if you go ahead and click on run, the first thing you should notice is that you'll get a print statement that says the Discord bot has successfully been logged in as Jojo at this hashtag. And in addition to that, if we go to our Discord server and scroll all the way up, you'll notice that our Jojo chatbot is now online. And let's go ahead and give it a role, which is the admin role, which is my role essentially. And now it's at the top with the other chatbot. Now, of course, the last thing to do in this tutorial is to make it so it can actually respond to things, because right now all it does is come online and doesn't really do anything in particular. So the next thing we have to do is go ahead and create another client event. So let's go ahead and type in @client.event. And we have to make this also an async function. So async def, and it's going to be on message. And that's going to take a message as a parameter. And now we can do a lot with this message. And this message is going to be every single message that enters the server. So we want to be able to process this message and actually be able to return it. But there are a few variables I want to create before we move on with responding to the messages. And the first one is called username. We just want to be able to get the username so we can use it later. And that's just going to be the string of message.author. And we want to split it at the string of hash. And that's going to be at the index of 0. So what this does is get the username, which is this whole string over here with the number and the hashtag. And it splits it once it finds a hashtag, which all usernames in Discord have. And then it gets the first element of the list that we just split it into, which is going to be the name, and returns that. So we just end up with the name. But after that, we want to go ahead and create a variable that's called user message. And that's going to equal the string of the message, and that will take the content of the message. And then we want to go ahead and make sure we can log which channel the message is coming from. So let's go ahead and create another string of message.channel.name. And finally, we have to go ahead and print all of this information so we can look at it later. So format, and then we should add a pair of curly brackets. And inside here, we will add username, user message. Then we should add a pair of parentheses. And inside here, we will add the channel. So this print statement will take care of logging everything that happens on our server. So when we run the server right now, you'll notice that all the messages that go on the server will be logged inside here. But the next thing we have to do is make sure that the chatbot does not infinitely respond to itself. And this is very important, because if the chatbot responds right now, it will continuously grab the latest message, which means it will grab its own message and it will always respond to its own message. So to do that, we just have to type if message.author is equal to client.user, then we will just return and we won't do anything. So that just takes care of making sure that the bot does not respond to itself. Next, we have to go ahead and check if the channel is the corresponding channel that we have specified. So messages only get responded to in that certain channel. Otherwise, it's going to be a mess because it will respond everywhere on your whole entire Discord server, and you don't really want that. So we're going to type if message channel dot name is equal to the channel name that you specify. In this case, I want it to be part of Discord bot tutorial. And in case you're confused about what a channel name looks like, just go to your Discord server. And as you can see down here, these are all channel names, which means if you want something to only be written in HTML, type in HTML. I'm using Discord bot tutorial, and that's why I wrote Discord bot tutorial. Then we have to add this colon here. And now we can actually add a message that it should recognize before responding. So for example, if user message, and we want to make sure it gets translated to lowercase, otherwise it probably won't recognize it, is equal to hello, then we are going to create an await, which is going to tell the channel to send a message back. And that's just going to be a formatted string, which is going to say hello, and it's going to respond to the username that sent it to us. And then we want to type in return, so it returns out of this statement. Elif, the user message to Loa, is equal to bye. We're just going to copy this section right here and say see you later. And I actually made a typo here. This should be user message. Then let's go ahead and specify one more response, which is going to be Elif user message to Loa is equal to random with a exclamation mark, so it looks kind of like a command. Then we're going to create a response, which is going to be a formatted string, and it will say this is your random number. And inside here we need to call the random function, which is going to take a random range, and I'm just going to insert the number of 1 million. Then we can go ahead and take the await message function and paste it right under. But of course we want to replace the string with the response. And we need to return this as well. So this takes care of responding to messages that are only located in this channel right here. But let's also create a message that can be responded to anywhere on the server. So to do that, all we have to do is type in if user message.loa is equal to exclamation mark anywhere. Then we will create a message channel.send, message.channel.send, and all right, this can be used anywhere. And then we want to return this so it doesn't look for other messages. And with that, we can go ahead and rerun the program and actually test it in our Discord server. So as you can see right now, we have logged in as Jojo0524, and let's go to the server. So now we will go to Discord bot tutorial and we will say hello. And you'll see Jojo will respond to us in the chat. And we can also say bye, and it will say, see you later, Federico. And if you go back to your PyCharm file, or wherever you're running Python, you'll also notice that we will get all of the logs of everything that's happening in our console. So right now I wrote hello, and that was in the Discord bot tutorial. So this works for logging everything that happens in your entire server, essentially, but it's just good to know. It's good to log this stuff so you know what's happening. But let's go ahead and try our random command. So let's go random, and it'll say this is your random number, and it will give you a random number. And the last thing to test is if we can use our anywhere command in any chat we want. So I tried to post it in a place without the required permissions, and as you can see I got an error because I needed administrator permissions to post in one of my sections. But if you post it in any section that you have already given the bot the permission, it should work fine. So let's go to website feedback, for example, and let's do exclamation mark anywhere. And you'll see that it will respond to us. This can be used anywhere, including in the chat that we were using it before, of course. So essentially that's how you create a very basic chatbot or bot in Discord. And if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below and I'll do my best to look at them. But otherwise, with that being said, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you.